Hi everybody, Shannon here, creative crew member with Katscrappiness. I am here to share a very large holiday release with you. I'm going to show you some examples and the products, and I'm going to try to get through them as fast as possible because at the end I'm going to show you how I make a very dimensional poinsettia on a shaker tag. So let's get through this as quick as I can, but I do want you to see all of these great products. Starting with, this is a sample for the layered camouflage stencil. It's a 3-piece stencil. Here are the 3 pieces. And it makes this great camouflage background, great for masculine cards. Here is the Believe Shadow Sentiment, and this is a 2-piece die set. You have the shadow and the believe sentiment, and this is 3 pieces. It's the B is separate. Excuse me. The B is separate from the rest of the word, and there's the tittle. So it's 3 pieces to create the word, and then the shadow is an extra piece. And I have a sample here. The next is the Willow Fields stencil. Here's an example of that product used. I stenciled this background with the teal and the green, and it's great for backgrounds. It would be great using paste through that. We have some glitter mousse that would look outstanding on that through that stencil. Next is the Clouds and Grass stencils. This is a 2-piece stencil, and let me show you how this works. So here's the clouds and here's the grass, and the way that this works is you put this down, and oops, I have it upside down. You put this down, and let's see if I can get this to match up. There we go. And you stencil your grass through there. Then when you do your clouds, you move the stencil down, and that will work as a mask to cover up the grass so that you don't contaminate it with the other colors. And the same thing for the clouds. I did the clouds through here, and had I done it the opposite way, I could use this also as a mask to stencil or color something above it. So there's that product. Here we have the, whoops, a little bit clumsy right now, the Wavy Ferns, and is a 1-piece stencil, really beautiful stencil with these curvy, flourishy looking leaves. And then we have the Pretty Pines, which is here. Let me get this centered so I'm not moving this around all the time. Okay, here we go. The Pretty Pines, and that's also a 1-piece stencil. I stenciled it with a couple colors of green, and then just took the ink after I was done stenciling that was left on the brush, and I did the stenciled over the background so it's not stark white. And moving right along, next we have the Layered Mountains and Tree Lines. And just like the clouds and the grass stencils, you can put the, looks like that's upside down, put the stencil down. Sorry, I'm doing it backwards. Put the stencil down, cover it with your product, whether it's ink or mousse or etc. Then when you're going to do the next layer up, you use the top of the stencil as a mask. And the same for the mountains. You can cover the mountains and then do your sky after you do the stenciling of the mountains. See how that works? Pretty groovy. And next is the Candy Cane Stripe stencil. This is a 1-piece stencil. Here I did a Christmas package, and I just cut it down to size to fit my card in, and then I took one of the scraps and cut this little mat for my sentiment here. And let's see, what is the name of this? These are from the Simple Sentiments Holiday Edition, and some really snarky holiday sentiments. This one says, "I'm freaking jolly," and the other one says, "Adding pro rapper to my resume," and rapper is spelled W-R-A-P-P-E-R. Next is the, oh, I forgot about, what is this called? This is called the Wrapped Up with a Bow craft die, and that's how I added the bow to my gift here. It has stitch detail, and there are some layers that you can add to the bow. So that's a nice die set. Then we have the Snowflake Kisses shadow die. Or it's actually 2 dies, a shadow and the phrase Snowflake Kisses, and this is all 1 piece with an exception of the tittle is separate. Tittle is the dot above the eye. So there's that holiday, actually holiday winter kind of works, you know, it's more of a seasonal thing than a holiday thing, but it also can serve dual purpose for holiday cards. And on here, the background that I used to create this card is called Cardinal Birch Bliss Stencil. And what I did was I put the stencil down and put a light gray ink through the stencil, and then came upside down again. Let's see here. Is that right? There we go. So I put the stencil down, put a light gray ink through the stencil, and then came back with Copic markers and added a little bit of darker detail in the little birch marks there. And let's see, and colored the background with some blue Copics and colored the cardinals with red and dark gray Copics. So that is that. Next is, this one I'm going to bring closer since I have this plastic covering on. I created a shaker card using that Snowflake Kisses die for my sentiment. And then if you can see the detail in the background, there's lots of stitched detail on my background there, and that is from the Stitched Swirling Snow background die. And that's a must-have for winter cards. And inside my shaker here, I have lots of what are they called? Sprinkle mixes, snowflakes. I'll get to that at the end of the video. But the white fluff that's in here is called Fluffy White Snow Topping. And it comes in a package like this, and really great embellishment for your Christmas cards or your winter cards. Next is the Holiday Village border. And here is that Holiday Village border with the stitched detail and the pine trees and the houses. And here is a sample. It's not really a card. I just took a background that I had and added it to it, so give you an idea what it looks like cut. So there is that. And here is, this is a card that I made with the small poinsettia die set. And if you've been a buyer of Katscrappiness products, you may have seen our large poinsettia die set, which makes a very large full poinsettia that takes up most of a card front, an A2 card front. But this set, you can create a smaller poinsettia, and I think that, did I use the largest? I don't think I used the largest on this. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, it looks like I did use the large one for the background, but I didn't use these separate leaves here. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of the petal or flower petal layers, and then the leaves here, and then this, it's a small die. I get worried that I'm going to lose it, so I stick a piece of tape on it, so so it doesn't get lost really easy. And here is the stamen or the center of the poinsettia, and these leafy branches are from the Stitch Foliage die set that is from an older release, and the sentiment is from the Simple Sentiments Holiday Edition, and I'll get to that towards the end. And also the background I created with the candy cane stripe stencil, and what I did was I laid it down, did my ink blending through it, and then I did a 180 turn of the stencil, and then ink blended in the opposite direction to give it that kind of plaid look. Okay, next up is the stained glass poinsettia window. And here what I did was I put my background piece through the die cutting machine with the die, but I used the embossing mat that came with my die cutting machine, the silicone squishy mat, and instead of cutting it, I impressed the image. Then I went in and colored each of the sections, and then sent my die through with a gold layer and actually cut that layer so it has this outline. So it kind of pops out through the holes a little bit. It's kind of, it has raised dimension in it. So there's that. And next up is the Fancy Bows die, or die set, pardon me. And there are 4 different dies. And what's nice is each of the bows has the little center knot, but it's not a separate die. It's attached to the bow die so that you don't lose those little tiny pieces. So there's 4 bows, and here are examples of those. Here is the shaker poinsettia tag that I'm going to make, and that tag is from the Holiday Shaker tag set, and there are 3 separate sizes of tags. They each have a center stitch detail piece that you can either cut the center out and create a shaker, or you can use it as a layer to layer on top of your tag and show all that stitch detail. There's also a to and a from die that impress the words into those die cuts. And let's see, I can pull this off. Here we go. Here's an example of the to and the from. Can you see that? The words on there? Kind of light ink that I blended on there, so. Anyways, okay, here's another example of a tag, and this sentiment is on one of the stamp sets that I'll get to pretty soon. Here we have some gingerbread and a gingerbread house, and what I did was, let me show you this one. Here's the die set, and it comes with the candies, the gingerbread, jelly beans, stars, the door front, the roof, and a little hillside layer here, a wreath with a bow, or you can use the bow on the gingerbread. That's what I did with the little gingerbread girl, and she has a little dress on. And what I did was I took a folded up piece of cardstock and I ran it through the die cut machine, but what I did was I pushed the die up further than the fold in the card. Does that make sense? I hope so. And so what that did was it gave me a tag that opens up like that, because I didn't cut the piece where the fold is in my card. Anyways, I layered up the pieces on there, the candies, and I embellished that. And that is that. And we're moving right along. Next we have the Crafter's Essentials Winter Dies. And this includes these 2 sloping hillsides that have the stitch detail, a deer silhouette, and a cluster of 3 pine trees. Here's those clusters of pine trees, the deer silhouette that I colored to actually look like a deer and not just a silhouette. Here I do have the hillsides, but you can't see it behind the trees on this side. Here you can see how those the hillsides layer right behind this gnome here. My card came off there. That is that. So next we have from the sentiment here on the ornament is from the Tipsy Christmas Wishes, and this stamp set includes some snarky sentiments, including Merry Drunk on Christmas, Mistletoe Margaritas, Drink Up Grinches, Dear Santa, Wine Made Me Do It, Tipsy and Bright, He Sees You When You're Drinking, Let's Get Lit, and Jingle Juice. Then I was telling you earlier about the Simple Sentiments Holiday Edition, and that's what these are from, just minus the sentiments that I've already used on my examples. And here there are many really snarky holiday sentiments. I'll go through them really quick. Official Cookie Tester, Happy Holidays. But wait, there's myrrh. No peeking, let's get frosted. Ho, ho, ho. Merry and bright. Santa's on his way. Be jolly by golly. Christmas calories don't count. What the elf? I am frickin' jolly. Naughty or nice. Let's get lit. Bah humbug. I ate Santa's cookies. Adding pro rapper to my resume. Grinch, please. Oh, what fun. Nice-ish. Santa, stop judging me. Merry Christmas. Dear Santa, let's negotiate. Naughty, and I know it. So, this stamp is just one full stamp, and there is a coordinating die called the Universal Simple Sentiments die, and what that does is it will cut all of these sentiments out in one pass with one die. There are also the Simple Sentiments original stamp that has everyday sentiments. There's the Valentine's Simple Sentiments Valentine, and I think there's one more Simple Sentiments Halloween or Fall. There's a Halloween-ish, fall-ish one. I can't remember what the name of that is, though. Okay, the next sentiment stamp set is called Funny Christmas Wishes, and this reads, What the elf? This is as jolly as I get. Don't get your tinsel in a tangle. Dear Santa, I regret nothing. Sweet but twisted. Hashtag candy cane. Christmas calories don't count, and son of a nutcracker. and that is what I've used on this card here. And this is the holiday shaker tags. I used the rectangle shape and stamped a sentiment on there. Next is the Nutcracker products. There is a whole suite of Nutcracker products, starting with the Center Stage craft dies. And here we have, this is the background for the curtain, and then here's the layer that overlaps that curtain. Here are the ties for the curtains. And then there's also this floor, the stage floor, that you could use actually as flooring, like in, or something to anchor your images on a scene card for, you could even maybe make it look like a sidewalk or just an interior floor, but I'm definitely going to be using that in several cards coming up. And here's my sample with the Nutcracker stamps and also a simple sentiment, holiday edition sentiment, and I used also the Nutcracker paper in the back of that card. Here is the Nutcracker stamp set, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 images. There are 3 ballerinas, a candy cane, snowflake, a nutcracker, 2 nutcrackers, one is smaller than the other, a mouse king, and he has a funny mustache, a swan, an ornament, and 2 gifts, a ballerina dress, and 2 mice, and ballet slippers. And I was thinking this, because these are not, the ballerinas aren't exactly holiday. The one that's holding a nutcracker may be more holiday-ish, but these could definitely be used as ballerinas for other than holiday cards. I was thinking of doing like a Swan Lake type ballet scene with the center stage dies and the swan and one of the ballerinas. Also, just using the ballet slippers and or the ballet dress or ballerina dress. And here we have the Nutcracker ephemera, and these are the same images that are included in the stamp set, but they are pre-colored and die-cut. I forgot to mention, the Nutcracker stamp set does have a coordinating die set sold separately, so you don't have to fussy cut those images if you don't want to. And there is also a Nutcracker, it's called the Sparkly Nutcracker Sprinkle Mix, and it has these sprinkles, snowflakes, 2 nutcracker faces, or actually I think it's just 1 nutcracker face, but it shows, comes in a package like this. And if you notice, these crystals here on the black background are looking kind of goldish, but they really look more clear if you were to put it on a white background. So it also has different size of pearls, and that is that. Show you the Nutcracker paper, and this is the double-sided premium 6x6 double-sided premium cardstock that has pink background with the Nutcracker images that are the same as in the stamp set. It looks like a snowy background on blue, snowflakes on blue, pink or polka dots on a pink background. Here's a yellow background with nutcrackers and gifts. These look like pink on pink background, and these look like little presents. Here's a aqua background with, looks like snow flurries and snowflakes, swans, candy canes, gifts, ornaments, and yeah, I think that covers it. Here's a kind of distressed looking stripe aqua background, and I think we're back to, here's a diagonal distressed stripe aqua background. Here are ballerina, ballet slippers, and snowflakes. Here's a yellow tone-on-tone ornaments and sparkling stars in the background. Candy cane on a pink polka dot background, and I think we're back to, so the image, you receive 12 patterns, 4 of each design. So that's 48 pages, double-sided cardstock. I believe that's 24 pages. And the final stamp set I do not have a sample of, but I just received this, and it has, this is called the Christmas Lantern Add-on. Has several sentiments. We have a bow with holly and berries, a poinsettia, a cluster of pine branches, acorns, or not acorns, pine cones, berries, and then another poinsettia, and it has several sentiments, starting with, we wish you a, or have a, and then there's Merry Christmas, be merry, a little something for you, peace on earth, season's greetings, joy, Happy holidays. May your days be merry and bright. So that also has a coordinating die set. And that looks like I've covered all of the new products.